When it comes to people talking about their favourite looking shiny Pokemon, most of the time we see a lot of the same picks. Shiny Metagross, shiny Mega Gengar, shiny Gyarados, black shiny Pokemon, blue shiny Pokemon, absolutely no green shiny Pokemon. However, after looking through every shiny Pokemon there is, I want to talk about some that hardly ever get the attention that they deserve. Whether I think they're a nice looking shiny that most people seem to hate, or they're simply not talked about a lot, and in some cases, look a lot better than some of the more popular shinies, in my opinion. So after this video, hopefully you'll see at least one shiny form that you've never seen before, or forgot about, and even better, you'll like it so much you'll want to hunt for it yourself. So, here's a list of what I think are 10 of the most overlooked, underrated shiny Pokemon. Right after some honourable mentions. Shiny Slugma. I do wish that Magcargo kept this grey hardening magma colour, and if I ever find a shiny Slugma, I probably won't bother evolving it. Shiny Psyduck and Corsola. Both of these are here for the same reason, two Pokemon that take on a really nice blue colour, and don't really get as much attention as other blue shinies. Shiny Spoink. If Spoink's body and Pearl did a complete colour swap, this shiny might have made the list, but the colour it was given is still a great look, that doesn't really get too much attention. Shiny Toucannon. It's kind of hard to tell which Gen 7 shinies will be underrated at the moment, so I wouldn't be surprised if Shiny Toucannon rises in popularity, mainly because its beak looks amazing, and it does feel like at some point it will become a popular Gen 7 shiny, so it gets a mention for now. Shiny Alolan Marowak. This shiny gets a mention for thankfully not having a similar shiny to its regular form, and having a nice purple colour to go with the ghost typing. And my final honourable mention is the Shiny Magnemite line. The looks of these shinies aren't really drastic, if anything they actually lose some colour, but I'm mentioning them because Magnemite was actually the very first shiny Pokemon that wasn't the red Gyarados that I ever found on Route 222 in my Platinum version, and after many years I still have it. Plus they're still pretty good looking shinies overall, that don't really get that much attention. So now let's go on to the actual list of what I think are the 10 most underrated shiny Pokemon, starting with Number 10. Shiny Mega Mawile. Regular Mawile shiny form never really caught my eye at all. Changing the grey parts to a pinkish colour I guess didn't really work for me, because I thought his original colour scheme worked better overall. This change however looks much better on the Mega version. Because the Mega form gained an additional colour, essentially swapping them makes this Pokemon stand out a lot more. I'm a big fan of shinies that somehow swap around colours, whether it's with another Pokemon, or in Mega Mawile's case, its own body. I guess one of the reasons that Shiny Mega Mawile doesn't get as much attention, making it in my eyes very underrated, is because when it comes to shiny Mega Pokemon, there's a certain white ghost that seems to overshadow them all, giving other shiny Megas a lot less spotlight. But Shiny Mega Mawile to me is still easily one of the best shiny Mega forms, and one I feel more people should appreciate. Number 9. Shiny Swellow. Now I, like a lot of people, for the most part, I'm not a fan of green shiny Pokemon, either because the shade of green chosen is a horrible looking one, or because the Pokemon simply doesn't look good in green. A lot of green shinies that look good are ones that were already green, but there are some exceptions to this. One of those exceptions being Shiny Swellow. So like a lot of people, the first time I saw Shiny Swellow was in the anime, where the Hoenn gym leader Winona had one. You could imagine my disappointment when I found out that her Swellow in Emerald didn't even exist. But going back to the anime, there was just some sort of majestic feeling about Swellow's colour scheme. It gets extra points for somehow combining the colours green and orange, and making them look pretty nice together. Despite Shiny Swellow's anime appearance, I guess it just got overshadowed by other shiny Pokemon that were in the anime. But hopefully from now on, Swellow will be seen by more people as one of the best green shiny Pokemon overall. Number 8. Shiny Lunala. So let's go back to a time when the entire Pokédex for Sun and Moon was revealed. I remember seeing both the shiny forms for Solgaleo and Lunala for the first time, and my thoughts for these shiny forms pretty much haven't changed. Those being that shiny Solgaleo looks really, really bad, and shiny Lunala looks really, really good. I've heard both shiny Solgaleo and shiny Lunala get flack for just being red, and since we're not talking about the shinies that to me were a letdown, let's focus more on shiny Lunala. For starters, the red they used isn't a normal red, it's more of a blood red, which is very fitting considering Lunala is based on a bat. The red colour also doesn't look the same all around. You can see where the red darkens and where it gets lighter, giving it a much more interesting effect, although it's easier to see on the 3D model. The purple parts also complement the red colour very well, and honestly the shiny ends up looking great to me. It's hard to say exactly why I don't think Solgaleo's shiny looks good, since there's plenty of red Pokemon, regular or shiny, that look great in red, but I'll probably save that for another video. Shiny Lunala on the other hand, definitely a shiny I would consider hunting for, if only you could hunt it. Number 7. Now before I reveal what shiny is in the spot, I want to say this is hands down the most hated shiny on the list, but please just hear what I have to say about it. So, number 7 is Shiny Bruxish. Okay, before I explain myself, let me start by saying this. I do not like Bruxish in general. I thought it was dumb when it was revealed, I still think it looks dumb now, and I had no interest in ever using it, but I kind of like its shiny form. I honestly don't think it deserves the hate it gets, considering there are so many more shinies that just look worse than it. The red really stands out, the green is actually a nice shade of green for a change, and whenever I look at this shiny, it reminds me of a watermelon. That is literally the first thing that came to mind when I first saw the shiny. Of course there are still going to be people who can't stand the look of it, which is fine, but that's the main reason why I find this shiny pretty underrated. I honestly think the most appealing thing about Bruxish is its shiny form. I mean, it's not saying much since it's still ugly as fuck, but at least it looks good in red, unlike some other Pokemon. Number 6. Shiny Azumarill. Now I, for whatever reason, am a pretty big fan of yellow/gold shinies. Kind of like how most people like black shinies and blue shinies, or how most people hate green shinies. And while of course there are some yellow shinies that I do not like, there's a good amount that I do. And one that I feel does not get as much attention as it should is Shiny Azumarill. I will admit I do have a slight bias to this shiny, since I actually won a perfectly bred Shiny Azumarill in a tournament. And honestly if I didn't think it looked good, I wouldn't have used it. Shiny in general just looks great as it is, with the blue colour being swapped for a striking golden yellow. I'm actually glad Azumarill gained this colour scheme over the green colour that its pre-evolutions had. And while Azurill and Marill definitely did have some pretty good green shinies, Shiny Azumarill in my opinion works much better. Especially after seeing what a green Shiny Azumarill does look like. Hopefully in the future there'll be more love for yellow shinies, and a good start will be with Azumarill. Number 5. Shiny Crustle. Yes, I know that I've bashed on green shinies for quite a bit in the video so far, but here is an example of a green shiny done right, which is honestly pretty impressive, considering the green on Shiny Crustle definitely isn't the nicest shade of green, yet it still really works. One defense I've heard for green shiny Pokemon in general is that the green colour makes the Pokemon look radioactive or nuclear. Fair enough, but in a lot of cases just because the shiny might look radioactive, it still doesn't mean they look good. Shiny Crustle on the other hand, pulls off this nuclear look probably better than any other green shiny. I also love the added detail to the rock on Crustle's back, almost looking like some sort of toxic fluid seeping from it. And it's not just the whole thing turning green either, it's really mostly the body and parts of the rock, so the green doesn't really oversaturate everything. When people think of their favourite shiny Pokemon, most of the time green shinies aren't really going to come to mind, which is why I feel Shiny Crustle doesn't get as much love as it does. But when trying to think of the best green shiny Pokemon, Shiny Crustle is almost always the first that comes to mind. Number 4. Shiny Spiritomb. Now this is a shiny that looks like they went all out on. What could they do to make Spiritomb look drastically different, completely stand out, and still look great? Well, let's swap the green and purple around, make the green closer to turquoise, and voila! This is a shiny I feel like gets slightly more attention than the rest of the list, but nowhere near the level of attention as other ghost types. As much as I love the Pokemon from the 4th generation, I do feel that they didn't exactly get the best shiny forms overall, with a lot of them getting the short end of the stick. Luckily, Spiritomb got arguably the most standout 4th gen shiny. I actually didn't expect this shiny at first to be on the list, because it seemed to me like a shiny that would get loads of attention, but after looking at multiple best shiny videos, I didn't really see any mention of Spiritomb. Well, hopefully that will change very soon. Number 3. So I wasn't really sure at first if I wanted to include Generation 7 shinies on the list, since I still feel like it's a little too early to tell which ones aren't as popular as I'd expect. Yes, I know I'm saying this right after already talking about 2 Gen 7 shinies, but those shinies were ones that I found pretty unpopular that I felt deserved more love. So I figured I'd take this opportunity to show off one of my personal favourite Gen 7 shinies, that isn't really disliked at all, but isn't really mentioned much either. That being Shiny Ribombee. We for the most part know which are the most popular Gen 7 shinies, like Palossand, Mimikyu, Decidueye, Vikavolt, etc. And yes, while these are some great shiny Pokemon, Ribombee I honestly feel is just as good, if not possibly even better than some of the other ones. Pink isn't exactly the most popular colour for a shiny, and while some definitely don't work, Ribombee is a perfect example of one that does. My favourite feature they gave this shiny is making the scarf go from a brown to a bright red. The scarf wasn't really something that caught my eyes with regular Ribombee, but after seeing its shiny form, it's the standout part, and definitely makes Ribombee, in my opinion, among the best shinies that the 7th generation has to offer. Number 2. Shiny Meowstic. Male. Female shiny Meowstic is good as well, but the male shiny form stands out much more in my opinion. This is a perfect example of how to make a good yellow shiny. Similarly to Azumarill, Meowstic goes from a deep blue to a very satisfying shade of yellow. I say satisfying because the shade they used isn't a bright yellow, or a piss colour. Instead it's a very smooth creamy yellow. Now most people will agree that shiny forms improved a lot in the 6th generation, which is why a lot of popular shinies are from the 6th gen, and would explain why Shiny Meowstic isn't that popular of a shiny. There are just so many good ones. It's going to be difficult for a yellow shiny to stand out, and one that has 2 forms, especially when there's already a popular yellow shiny from this generation. Yeah, Goodra's shiny is pretty cool as well, but Meowstic's is easily the better yellow shiny, and to be honest, might just be my favourite yellow shiny overall. And what is in my opinion the most underrated shiny Pokemon is Shiny Heatmor. I have known about this shiny for a few years now, and I have never heard anyone talk about it. That's probably because Heatmor is a pretty forgettable Pokemon as it is, so not that many people are going to know what its shiny form looks like. But all those years ago, when looking through every shiny form, I took one look at Heatmor and thought, wow, that is possibly one of the most perfect shiny forms I've ever seen. And honestly, its form makes so much sense as well. Let's take Heatmor and give it an awesome volcanic magma look. The bright orange stripes almost look like they're glowing, especially in the Gen 5 games. Heatmor is one of the best examples of a shiny form that looks leagues better than its regular form. This is the shiny that I've wanted to show off the most, and deserves so much more attention. If you're looking for a Pokemon to shiny hunt, definitely consider Heatmor. It is, in my opinion, easily the most underrated shiny Pokemon. So, hopefully the shinies I just listed will start becoming a bit more popular than they originally were, and because talking about shiny Pokemon is always enjoyable, I'll be sure to talk about them a bit more in the future. But instead of talking about shiny Pokemon I like, next time how about the complete opposite? But for now, I really hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and if you do want me to talk about more shinies in the future, subscribe for more Pokemon videos, and until next time, thanks so much for watching.